Hello guys, gals and gamers, and hey, did you know Pokemon Day is coming up soon? And in preparation for that, I have made a list of predictions of what I think Pokemon will reveal on Pokemon Day and in general what will happen to the Pokemon franchise this year. So first of all, the biggest thing, at least when it comes to games for Pokemon, is of course Scarlet and Violet. We got Scarlet and Violet last November. It was a bit of a mixed bag when it comes to Pokemon games. If you want to see me talk about it more, I have this 50-minute analysis about the level design of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet on my channel, so please go check that out. But other than that, what we are expecting, of course, is not a new game in the Pokemon franchise, it's the DLC. We want to see more of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC, and we kind of know already we are going to get this. Are we going to see it on Pokemon Day? Most likely, because I would expect it to be coming out this year. So what's going to be in it? Well, of course, the third legendary is one thing that is going to be in it, but in general, I hope they kind of don't show us too much about the DLC. It would be nice to know kind of the price point maybe, and if it will be in multiple waves like the Sword and Shield DLC was in 2 waves. We got the Isle of Armor and then the Crown Tundra. So it would be nice to know if there's going to be multiple waves to this one, or is it just going to be a one and done paid DLC addition to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Then after that, I would hope they kind of address Pokemon Scarlet and Violet otherwise too, because I would like to get more updates to the game other than just the paid DLC, because the game launched in a state where it was kind of a mess. So I would like to see Game Freak and the Pokemon Company kind of admit to their mistakes, like, hey, we've heard your feedback, and did you know we are making this update, it's gonna release soon, and it's gonna fix a lot of like performance issues. I'm not sure if they're gonna say performance issues, but they're gonna say something like, hey, it will make the game a better experience and then add some quality of life stuff. Hopefully something like the shiny sound or some like really basic things that were just missing from the game. I do hope those get added. But after that, I hope another Pokemon kind of game gets updated, and that is of course Pokemon Home, the kind of central of the Pokemon franchise where all of your Pokemon are stored, and it would be nice to hear something on when Pokemon Home connectivity is coming to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Other than that, there are of course other Pokemon games they could talk about. There's Pokemon Go, which is doing well, not much to say about it. But one interesting thing about Pokemon Go that we could see now is kind of hinting at, well, the future, what's going to happen in the future, but also doing something more with Gimmighoul, because Gimmighoul was first kind of teased in Pokemon Go, where Gimmighoul just appeared one day in the game, following you around and collecting coins. And one thing that we're kind of missing in Scarlet and Violet is the shiny form of Gimmighoul. So maybe there could be some cool Pokemon Go tie-in event that would give us Gimmighoul in that game and allow us to get also the, the treasure form, or the non-treasure form of Gimmighoul in the games as well, and hopefully the shiny as well. So probably some kind of event going on in there. We have, of course, Pokemon Masters doing okay. Haven't ever played it, so can't really say what's there to come. Probably showcasing some new cool characters, but I wouldn't expect anything major because it's not like a huge year for Pokemon. It's just another year. It's not like an anniversary or anything. It's just going to be another year, but probably going to talk about Pokemon Masters and Pokemon Cafe Remix, whatever else they have. I don't think they would announce a new Pokemon mobile game because we haven't had those in quite a while, and I don't think that will change now either. Then moving on to spin-offs, We have heard from a few spin-offs that are being made, maybe. I don't think they have been cancelled. And these are, of course, Pokemon Detective Pikachu 2 and Pokemon Sleep, whatever that is. Could be just like some sort of health app with Pokemon or something. I don't know. But it could be cool. And other than that, I would like to see Pokemon Detective Pikachu. But we can think further about spin-offs. It would be nice to see another Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. I think the remake on the Switch did okay-ish. So it could be a possibility that we see another Mystery Dungeon. Other than that, another franchise I would really like on the Switch is Pokemon Rumble. It's a very simplistic beat-em-up game with Pokemon characters, and just would be perfect on the Switch in my opinion. It's still so weird that we don't have Pokemon Rumble at all on the Switch, because it could be like one of the perfect multiplayer games on the Switch, because you can easily just share a controller, and the movement and how you use the characters in the game is just so simple that it would be the perfect game for the Switch. So it's kind of weird that we haven't had that. Other than that, I don't think Pokemon Stadium has a chance, because it's just all of those games are just Pokemon battles in 3D, and we have those in normal games otherwise. But maybe something other cool like Pokemon Ranger would be nice to see. Though I kind of doubt it, since those games originally had a lot to do with like having a touch screen, and now we don't have that, so might be a little difficult for kids who would obviously want to play this Pokemon game. I know you might not be a kid watching this video, but from a child perspective it could be a bit hard to make circles around Pokemon with motion controls or without the support of touchscreen. Of course, the Switch has a touchscreen, but there are also people who play it on the TV, so maybe not that, but it would be interesting to see something like that. My hope is for Pokemon Rumble, as it has always been. I really like that series for some reason. It's so simple. And another thing, the final thing I'm going to mention, is a lot of people have been thinking about, okay, we got Pokemon Game Boy and Game Boy Advance on the Nintendo Switch Online in the last Direct. And people have been, of course, wanting, hey, one of the biggest games on those consoles were the Pokemon games, so are we going to get those? And there's some possibility that we will get some Pokemon representation more on the Nintendo Switch Online. We know the Pokemon trading card game is coming out on that already. And then we have on the N64 side, we have Pokemon Stadium, I think. But I don't think mainline games would come out on Nintendo Switch Online, and I explained this in my last video, but I'm just gonna briefly go over it again. Pokemon as a franchise of games likes to be connected, and the connection to each other is Pokemon Home, like I mentioned before. And I don't think if putting Pokemon games on a subscription service, could it easily connect to Pokemon Home? I guess there could be some way, but also having games locked into a subscription service that you would sometimes lose access to. I know that Pokemon Home itself is kind of a subscription service as well, but I don't think that would be something Game Freak would like, because you couldn't always have access to that Pokemon game, like an actual game, and someday in the future you might not be able to connect your Nintendo Switch to the internet, and thus would lose access to all of those Pokemon that you have caught. So that's my kind of convoluted reasoning on why I don't think they might want to put older Pokemon games on the Nintendo Switch Online. But that said, there could be something cool about re-releasing those games otherwise in like a collection that you can buy separately, and that could be cool. I have never seen Pokemon do that before. I'm not sure if it's any likely. Nintendo itself rarely does collections, the last I remember is the Mario 3D All Stars collection, and they were weird about that too. So I don't think there is that much evidence or that much likelihood of a collection of Pokemon games coming out on the Switch. It would be nice, of course. It would be really cool to relive some of those classic games. If I were to pick some games, I would go with the third versions of some older games like Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon Crystal, or Pokemon Emerald. But if they're not going to do collections, they could just re-release them separately on the eShop with Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, Green, all of them available. And I think, for me at least, that would be the more preferable option. So I could always play those games while not having been connected to the internet. But yeah, that is my thoughts on the Pokemon Day. Hopefully it's going to be cool. Can't wait to see what kind of events are going to happen. I'm recording this a bit early, so hopefully not much of this will be outdated by the time the Pokemon Nintendo Direct presentation, whatever it will be called, is coming out. So hopefully nothing too major leaks out in advance, but we'll just have to wait and see. But I hope you enjoyed this small prediction video, and please don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.